because really nothing has happened in terms of exploration of that main shear that produced all that gold since it was mined and since the 1960s when it was very lightly explored.
Hi, Gamal and David. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
For sure. Yeah, so maybe you can start off just giving us, the audience, a bit about the background and the history of the company Gold Terra Resource.
Absolutely. I joined the company about 2.5 years ago, and I joined because for me, it was a very simple story. A resource company cannot be complicated. The prospect for an exploration company cannot be complicated, and this is a very simple one. I'll try and keep it simple for all of your viewers. I viewed this as a large district scale property in Canada, which is a great jurisdiction. You know, all the majors want to be in North America, and certainly it's right next to infrastructure. So we've got a gold property, highly prospective, on the doorstep of past production. You know, there were two very prolific mines in the city of Yellowknife. It's in the Northwest Territories of Canada, 800 square kilometers, 70 kilometers of strike length. So it's a huge property, proven to be highly prospective for high-grade gold, past production, but relatively unexplored past those two mines. So, you know, that's a simple overview. We're exploring for high-grade gold. We want to make a new discovery. We feel like we have an amazing backdrop right now. You know, we've just basically barely broken the surface on the potential here. So it's very exciting.
Sure. So maybe you can elaborate a bit on the location there, on the Yellowknife region, because not that many companies, when I think of it, go there exploring for gold. What was the history of the gold mining over there?
Well, Yellowknife has a rich history. It is currently the hub for mining in the Northwest Territories. All of the diamond mines, you know, base themselves, or it's really the hub of infrastructure for those remote camps. But historically, it's been an established camp for gold mining. And it has a very rich culture. It's actually a wonderful town. It has an airport. It has a lot of skilled labor. There's power. There are roads. There's a real wealth of available resources to both an exploration company and certainly to anybody who's looking to develop a mine. And for us at Gold Terra, being, you know, effectively on the doorstep of town, and currently we're drilling, you know, just on the doorstep of the old Con mine, which is literally at the city limits, is a tremendous opportunity for us to leverage all of that infrastructure. And just to give people a sense of where Yellowknife is and how it's situated in Canada, without the benefit of a map, the best way for me to tell you is that, where are you located right now?
Vancouver.
Good. You and I are both in Vancouver. So I could call an Uber and you and I could get in the Uber and go almost to our drill site.
Wow.
So that just gives you a sense of the fact that Yellowknife is very connected to the rest of Canada. It's not just a fly-in city. There is a lot of infrastructure that leads to the city of Yellowknife as well, making it a very unique place in the north. Because for any sort of business, whether it's you know, mining or other, you can get there also by road.
Interesting indeed. So maybe we can talk a bit about your project now. So I believe you have Newmont optioning one of your projects there, and I believe you started drilling recently. So yeah, what kind of theory do you want to test out there for that particular project?
The theory is very simple. You know, this has been tried, tested, and true mining camp with, you know, for example, just the Con mine, as one of the two highly prolific mines, produced over 6 million ounces of high-grade gold, you know, at about 16 grams per ton. Out of that, 6 million ounces, 5 million ounces was hosted by a structure called the Campbell Shear. And so this is one of the main, the large shear zones that runs through the camp, where I described we've got about 70 kilometers of strike. Well, the two mines that produce there sort of over roughly 10 kilometers of that strike. So the theory that we're trying to test is, the doorstep of that production has been relatively underexplored, if not explored at all. And so we have some data that shows some old drill holes from the 1960s. And that is something that we want to follow up on, because really nothing has happened in terms of exploration of that main shear that produced all that gold since it was mined and since the 1960s, when it was very lightly explored. So we now have quite a robust and aggressive program. We've got 2 drills running and we're fully funded. We just started drilling on January 20th on this Campbell Shear, and we expect news to flow from that program through the first half of 2021.
Okay, so currently you had 745,000 ounces of gold resource, and would your drilling last year further improve on that? Because I believe you're also running a resource update soon after.
Correct. And COVID put us a little bit behind. We wanted to have that resource update out around the end of 2020. And we didn't get to drilling on one of our targets, Crestorum, which was the high-grade target we drilled in the second half of 2020. We didn't get to drilling that till about 2 months later than we'd hoped. Again, we were very fortunate in COVID to be able to drill another one of the great highlights of being in the city of Yellowknife. You don't have remote camps, so you don't have to have a kitchen, for example, and having people housed in close proximity. Everybody was able to work and go home at night and follow the guidelines. So with all of that drilling we did at Crestorum, we expect to be out with the resource update fairly shortly. I think, perhaps we won't be 2 months late as we were when we started drilling, but we feel that we will add ounces to the resource with the drilling that we did at Sam Otto earlier in 2020, and then at Crestorum in the second half of 2020.
Looks exciting. So we always think about junior company run by good management. That's a very important factor in that sense. Can you comment a bit about your team, your management team over there, on the track record?
I'd love to. We feel that we have, exceptional mix of strengths. We've got the benefit of having had Gerald Paneton join the company, and I think that's where I would start with the management team. Gerald has had a tremendous track record. He's had a career that, had him at Barrick. He created 2 mines at Barrick over his 12-year tenure there. And then from Barrick, he went on to Detour Gold to basically start a gold mining company from the ground up. And, gold, we all know that Detour Gold ultimately became a success and was sold to Kirkland Lake. And so having Gerald come on board is not only important for us because with him, he was able to bring additional members of our board who have experience also in building mines. And so now we've got this management team where my focus is capital markets. I come from the brokerage business. And so I have relationships in the investment community, as well experience with, the marketing aspect, putting together the full package with the group that can build a mine ultimately, explore, discover, and then build. We're not out just shopping ourselves as a team that's, looking to find ounces and then having to sell ourselves. We could do either. And oftentimes we're asked, which would you do? Do you sell it or do you build it? Well, as shareholders, we're very much aligned with our registry. We are significant shareholders ourselves. And if we were to get to a point where we find a critical mass of ounces, then, as shareholders, we'll decide what would bring the most value to us and to you, the shareholders. And so in that way, we're very much aligned, and we've got the ability to do both, no matter what happens.
Good to know. So in summary, do you consider Gold Terra Resource right now as undervalued, and why is that?
Absolutely. I think we're undervalued. I think there are a variety of reasons why. I think the main, I've already mentioned it, this is a tremendous opportunity. It's a high grade gold camp. We control the whole thing. And there is huge potential here for another discovery and the potential to build another mine of high grade gold in Canada next to infrastructure and all of those things. So I think that we're not necessarily getting credit for that potential. We've also got a resource, that we're going to continue to add to as we go along, which then underpins our valuation. I think that's something, that's very important in a junior exploration company where we're not just swinging for the blue sky, but we're consistently adding, value to backstop our share price. So look, as we continue to build momentum and we put out results from the Campbell Shear, I think that that's going to change and people will see the value and the potential. And I think when it starts to happen, it's going to happen fast.
Okay. Again, thank you for your time and sharing your story and updates with us, David, today.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us for this PDAC special coverage series. So I will talk to you until next time. Thank you again, David.
Thank you.